and it's going to be a closed circle right here at negative 14 because it is or equal to. And then I'm going to shade it to the left because it's all the numbers that are less than or equal to negative 14. And then on the other side of the graph, also a closed circle on positive 14. And then this is going to be all of the answers that are greater than positive 14. So because this was a greater than problem, I knew it was going to be outside of a certain value. The numbers needed to be at least a certain distance away. And so this absolute value inequality produces two pieces of a solution set that are at least a certain distance away from 0. Before we wrap up with a takeaway, I just want to go back up to the previous question and point out that as soon as you get the bars all by themselves and you're doing either the and or you're doing the or part, notice that as soon as I set this up, there's no more bars, so the bars drop. And then that's the same thing with this one. As soon as I get this ready to go and I set it up with my or, then there's no more bars and the bars drop. So you do want to make sure that you're dropping your bars at the appropriate place. If we were going to write a one-sentence takeaway right here, that would sum up what happened on this day's notes as compared to yesterday's notes. Today's notes were the same as yesterday's, except we had to do the red part first. And so a way that you could write that down on a takeaway says you must isolate the absolute value bars So you have to isolate or get all by itself the part that's inside the bars before deciding whether it's going to be an and problem or whether it's going to be an or problem, and setting it up and solving it accordingly. And so it is important to notice that you get the part that's inside the bars all by itself, then you decide if it's an and or an or, then you decide how to set it up, and then you decide how to solve it. These questions are going to look almost identical to one another when you're practicing solving them. So you really have to make sure that you can hit the pause button in your brain to decide which direction this symbol is and what that means for the setup versus what direction this symbol is and what that means for the setup. And so you'll have the opportunity to practice both of those on the homework for tonight.